Victor, it seems that that one-child policy in place for so long worked too well, didn't it?
Yes, I think, but it's not just the policy. I think it's just a natural consequence of modernization. As families get richer and the cost of living skyrockets, families would have fewer children. So this is a phenomenon not just in China but across East Asia, in advanced economies like South Korea and Japan as well.
So, in addition to controlling the population, the one child policy had some unintended negative consequences too, like the gender imbalance and young Chinese growing up and finding it extremely hard to find a partner.
Yes, I think there are forecasts that in a decade or so, you might actually have a generation where up to a quarter of the young Chinese men would not be able to find a spouse. So this is a very worrying problem for China. And beyond that, of course, when we look at the pyramid of China's economic population pyramid of China's economic growth, it's actually an inverse pyramid. And the most worrying thing for the Chinese projections is that in time to come, the dependency ratio of each young Chinese person, I mean, the number of people that he actually has to support will be actually quite high. So 2 parents and 4 grandparents. And this is just going to get really worse. So if you forecast that and you project other things like taxes, and the number of young men available for conscription, etc., China foresees a demographic crisis in the years ahead.
So you alluded to the fact that it's becoming expensive for young Chinese
Yes.
families to raise children. But what are some of the other forces at work here? Because, in the West, when we see growing middle classes, more economic security, wider education, those are the kinds of choices people make to have fewer children. These are very Western problems. Are those
Yes.
factors also at work in China now?
Of course they are. They are facing the same sort of problems. But I think the impetus to raise the limit to 3 children this time would not make a big difference for a majority of the people living in the urban areas. However, I think this would have a positive effect for families that are well-to-do. So well-to-do families who can have two probably would be able to afford three. Those people who are actually poor will find it difficult to have one, not to mention two. In the rural areas, this might actually be a positive thing because if you live on a farm, then I think some families would find it not to make a big difference if you have 2 or 3 or 4 children. So in that sense, this will benefit the kind of families that are prepared to actually have more children if their circumstances allow.
Victor, thanks for that insight in a complex situation.